The fall of 1992. Two 20-year-old kids are standing in the middle of the most dangerous housing project in the city, pointing a camera at it. They are not from here. They grew up in Pomona, 40 miles east. They have never lived in the projects. They have never been in a gang. They have never held anything heavier than a film school textbook. And they have just hired the Grape Street Crips to protect them. Not actors playing gang members, not consultants with a past. The actual Grape Street Watts. Crips, one of the most active sets in all of Los Angeles, hired by a Hollywood production to provide security on a film set, inside their own territory, in the Jordan Downs housing projects, where they run everything. The two kids behind the camera are twins, Allen and Albert Hughes, 20 years old. This is their first movie. They have $3.5 million from New Line Cinema and a script about a young man growing up in these exact streets, surrounded by these exact people in this exact world. The film will be called Menace II Society. And before they finish making it, a rival gang is going to show up and bring real violence to the set. The biggest rapper in America is going to get fired and then physically attack one of the directors. A real gang member on camera is going to be cut from the film for being too real. And the production is going to shut down for 2 days because what is happening outside is not part of the script. This is the true story of what happened behind the camera on one of the most important black films ever made. The story of the real gang members who were not acting. This is that story. You have to understand where this film was made because the location is not a backdrop. It is a character. Jordan Downs is a housing project in the Watts section of South Los Angeles, built in the 1940s for defense workers during the war. By the 1990s, it is something else entirely. Low-rise brick buildings, narrow walkways, courtyards that look open but feel closed, and every square foot of it belongs to the Grape Street Watts Crips. Grape Street is one of the largest and most established sets in the entire Crip network. They wear purple. They have been in Jordan Downs since the 70s. Their rivals include the Hacienda Village Bloods, located barely a mile away, and the P.J. Watts Crips from the Imperial Courts projects just down the road. The geography of Watts is a patchwork of territories, and Jordan Downs is Grape Street's ground. When the Hughes Brothers chose to film there, they were not choosing a set. They were entering someone's territory, and in Watts in 1992, you do not enter territory without permission. So they made a deal. The Grape Street Crips would provide security for the production, real members, on payroll. Their job was to keep the set safe, keep outsiders away, and make sure that the film crew, most of whom had never set foot in a place like this, could do their work without being robbed, threatened, or worse. In exchange, residents of Jordan Downs would appear in the film as extras, not background actors sent by a casting agency, real people from the projects, living the life the film was trying to depict. So when you watch Menace II Society and the world on screen feels different from every other hood movie, that is why. The people in the background are not performing. They are standing where they always stand, wearing what they always wear, moving the way they always move. The camera is not creating a world. It is documenting one that already exists. And the Grape Street Crips are not guarding a movie set. They are guarding their own neighborhood with cameras rolling inside it. Now understand how unusual this is. Hollywood makes films about dangerous places all the time. They build sets. They hire security companies. They bring in off-duty police officers. They control the environment completely, so that the actors feel safe and the production stays on schedule. The Hughes brothers did none of that. They walked into the real thing and asked the real thing to protect them. Two 20-year-old film school kids from Pomona standing in the middle of Grape Street territory, making a movie about Grape Street territory with Grape Street members standing 10 feet away, making sure nobody touches them. That is either the bravest decision in the history of independent film or the most reckless. It is probably both, and it is the reason the film works. Every other hood movie of that era, Boys in the Hood, South Central, Juice, they were made by filmmakers who understood the world from a distance. John Singleton grew up in South Central. The Hughes brothers did not. But they compensated for that distance by doing something Singleton never had to do. They hired the world itself to stand guard while they filmed it. And then there was the cast. MC8 plays a character called A-Wax in the film. A-Wax is a cold, street-hardened figure, dangerous, capable, the kind of man you do not want to be on the wrong side of. MC8 was not acting. His real name is Aaron Tyler. He is from Compton. He is a member of the Tragnew Park Crips, a real Crip, not a rapper playing a gangster for a music video, a man who grew up in the set, who lived the life, who carried the reputation. When you see A-Wax on screen, handling business with that flat calm that most actors spend years trying to learn, understand that he is not performing. He is being himself with a script in his hand. The Hughes brothers cast him specifically because they wanted that energy. They wanted a man who did not have to reach for it, who did not have to study tapes or interview former gang members or shadow someone for a week. MC8 walked onto the set and brought 30 years of Compton with him. The camera just captured what was already there. And then there was Tupac. Tupac Shakur was originally cast in the role of Sharif, described in the script as an ex-gangster who had converted to Islam, a man trying to leave the life, a man searching for something better. It should have been perfect casting. Tupac was already the most magnetic young actor in Hollywood. He had played Bishop in Juice the year before and turned a supporting role into the thing everyone remembered about the film. He had range, intensity, and a screen presence that made every other actor in the room look like they were standing still. But Tupac had a problem with Sharif. He did not understand why the character turned Muslim. He wanted the script to show the reason. Show me why he converted. Give me the scene where he makes the choice. The Hughes brothers said no. The character's faith is part of who he is when the movie starts. You do not need to explain it. Tupac disagreed. And when Tupac disagreed, he did not write a polite email to the producers. According to MC8, who was on set, every time they tried to rehearse, Tupac had an opinion about his character. He wanted rewrites. He wanted motivation. He wanted the script to bend to his vision. And the Hughes brothers, 20 years old, making their first film, standing on Grape Street territory with real gang members providing security, did not have the time or the patience to rewrite the screenplay for one actor. They fired him. Tupac Shakur, the most talked about young artist in America, was removed from the production of Menace II Society. Alongside him, the rapper Spice One was also let go. And here is where the story goes from a creative disagreement to a criminal case. Tupac did not take the firing quietly. At a video shoot in Hollywood sometime after, Tupac ran into Allen Hughes. The encounter escalated, and Tupac physically attacked the director. He was charged. He went to court, and he was convicted of assault. A rapper who was fired from a film about street violence committed real street violence against the man who fired him. The line between the movie and the world it was depicting did not just blur, it disappeared. But Tupac was not the only problem the production faced. He was not even the biggest one. Because while the Hughes brothers were dealing with a temperamental star and a set full of real gang members, the one thing their security arrangement could not prevent was already on its way. The rivals. Jordan Downs is Grape Street territory, but barely a mile away, across a few blocks of Watts, sits the Hacienda Village, and the Hacienda Village belongs to the Bloods. The Grape Street Crips and the Hacienda Village Bloods are not just rivals. They are enemies in a conflict that has been running since the 1970s. The kind of beef that does not have a beginning or an end, just an ongoing body count. And when word spread through Watts that a Hollywood production was being made inside Grape Street territory, with Grape Street members on the payroll, the Hacienda Bloods saw it as a provocation. A film crew, making a movie, in Crip territory, paying Crips to protect them. To the Bloods, that is not a film production, that is an enemy operation with Hollywood money behind it. And they responded accordingly. Members of the Hacienda Village Bloods showed up and brought the conflict to the set. The production shut down for 2 days, not because of budget problems, not because of weather, not because an actor missed his call time, because a real gang showed up and brought real violence to a real film set, and the cast and crew had to take cover until it was safe to come back. 2 days, in the middle of production, on a $3.5 million budget where every day counts, lost to an actual gang conflict that had nothing to do with the movie and everything to do with the ground the movie was standing on. The Hughes brothers came back, the Grape Street security came back, the cameras rolled again. But the production was never the same after that. Everyone on set understood, in a way they had not before, that the world they were filming was not a story. It was not a character study. It was not cinema. It was real. And it could reach out and touch them at any moment. And there is one more detail that tells you just how thin the line was between the film and the world it was depicting. During production, a real gang member appeared on camera, not as a background extra, in a scene with dialogue. And the Hughes brothers watched the footage and made a decision. They cut him from the film. The reason, as they later explained, was that he was being too gangster, not in a cinematic way, in a real way. His energy on camera was not acting. It was not performing. It was the real thing, unfiltered, and it did not fit inside a movie. Because a movie, even one as raw as Menace II Society, still has a frame. It still has a story. It still has a shape. And what this man brought to the screen had no shape. It was just the thing itself. And the thing itself was too much for a film to contain. Think about what that means. A film specifically designed to show the raw reality of gang life in Watts had to cut a scene because the real thing was too real for the movie about the real thing. That is the line the Hughes brothers were walking for the entire production, between documentary and fiction, between the script and the street, between the actors playing gang members and the gang members playing themselves. And sometimes the line was so thin that the only way to tell the difference was to check whether the man on screen had a SAG card or a street name. The film wrapped production. It was edited. It was submitted to the ratings board. And the MPAA nearly ended it right there. The original cut received a rating so extreme that the studio considered shelving the entire project. A prison sequence, fully shot and edited, was cut from the final film entirely to avoid an adults-only rating that would have kept it out of most theaters. The Hughes brothers fought for their vision, made the cuts they had to make, and got the film down to an R rating. Menace II Society was released on May the 26th, 1993. $3.5 million budget, $30 million at the box office. The reviews were extraordinary, 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel both named it one of the 10 best films of the year. Critics called it the most stunning directorial debut in black cinema history, more authentic than Boys in the Hood, more unsparing than anything Hollywood had ever put on screen about the streets. And every frame of that authenticity was bought with real danger. The Grape Street Crips who guarded the set never received a credit in the film. The residents of Jordan Downs, who appeared as extras, were paid day rates and went back to the same projects the cameras had pointed at. MC8 went back to Compton. The Hacienda Bloods, who interrupted the production, went back to their corner of Watts. The conflict between Grape Street and Hacienda Village continued long after the crew packed up and left. And Tupac, the man who was fired for caring too much about a character's motivation, and who then attacked the director in the street. He went on to become the most famous rapper who ever lived. He released All Eyes on Me. He starred in more films. He was taken in Las Vegas in September of 1996, 3 years after the movie he was removed from became a classic. Allen Hughes, the director Tupac attacked, has spoken about the incident with a strange kind of respect. He understood what Tupac was, a man who could not separate himself from his art, a man for whom the role was not a job, but an identity. And when that identity was taken away, the only response Tupac knew was the one the streets had taught him. The irony sits on top of the whole story like a weight. Menace II Society is a film about young black men trapped in a world of violence they cannot escape. And the making of the film was a world of violence the filmmakers could not escape. The gang members on screen were real. The gang members providing security were real. The gang members who showed up to attack were real. The assault conviction that came out of the production was real. The only thing that was not real was the script. And even that was written by a man who had lived the life it described. So what do you take from the making of Menace II Society? Take this. Two 20-year-old kids walked into the most dangerous housing project in Los Angeles with a camera and $3.5 million. They hired real gang members to protect them. They put real gang members on screen. They fired the biggest rapper in America, and he came back with his fists. And when the rival gang showed up and the violence became real, they did not run. They shut down for 2 days, came back, and finished the film. The result was $30 million at the box office and a place in film history that has not moved in 30 years. Every other hood movie of that era was made at a safe distance. Menace II Society was made at no distance at all. That is what you see on screen. That is what you feel when you watch it. Not acting, not simulation. The real thing, caught on film by two kids who were brave enough or reckless enough to stand in the middle of it and say action.